Alrighty, meeting is being okay. Let me hit the okay button. Alrighty, guys. So it is 7:33 p.m. on February 18th, 2024. My name is Josh Halaka, Chairman for the Libertarian Party of Florida, and at this time, I am calling this meeting to order for the Executive Committee here. At this time, we can do roll call and introduction of guests. Ms. Skansky, when you're ready, you may go ahead with roll call.
Sure. Josh Laka.
Present.
Tub.
Present.
I'm here. Brianna.
Here.
Ed Appler.
Can't hear you, Ed.
Oh, he's on
You're
mute.
muted.
Yeah, I'm here.
I do see him.
Yeah, present.
Matt Johnson.
I'm here.
Lee Corser.
Here.
Matt Rice. I think, Derek, are you here for him?
I am here for Matt.
Lynn Armstrong.
Here.
Rachel Danner McCauley. Do you want it to
Here.
be Rachel McCauley?
Yes.
Okay. Andrew Parrott.
Here.
Beth Johnson.
Here.
David Musgrave.
Here.
Eric Montgomery. Blurry, but here. Richard Bowen. John Papp.
Here.
Deanna Cosma.
Here.
And that's it. Are either David or Martin here? There
Doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Well, part of my small little barking dog there, but it looks like we have we have 16 members present tonight, if I'm not mistaken there, Ms. Skansky. So I believe
Yes.
that means we do have quorum. So
We definitely have
congratulations.
quorum.
Congratulations. We can get this meeting officially started here, guys. All right. So Mr. Benner, Mr. Cowan don't look like they're here tonight. We've determined quorum. Now we can get into public comment here. So anybody who is not currently on the EC, so the general membership looking to be recognized for public comment, we're giving approximately 10 minutes for that. This is your time, guys. Is anybody looking to be recognized in the gallery for public comment? All right, I see Mr. Roos's hands up. Go ahead, Mr. Roos. Unmute.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Everybody can hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Great. All right, good evening, everybody. Sorry I couldn't be with you in Jacksonville. Family duty compelled me to stay home. Just want to give a quick congratulations to everybody who's part of this board and who's returning, especially the new faces and Treasurer Ms. Pacheco-Jones, Vice Chair Rohrabaugh, because the month didn't really count, and then the representatives Montgomery and Mosgrave. I just want to give the board a quick update. I had originally sued the state, challenging the state's reasoning why the LPF should not be provided a presidential primary. Despite the fact that we get a primary whenever two LPF candidates are running for the same election, the judge basically made a political decision to dismiss it, and it would take a lot more resources to appeal that and whatnot. Talking to other attorneys, basically, no attorney I've talked to didn't say we don't have a case here, or that we have a strong case here. And that the practicality of being recognized as the same as a Democrat or Republican Party means that we have even more rights under law to be involved in actual government. Whether you will consider that a reason to pursue this or not is a different question. But I wouldn't look at this until after November, after the presidential election. And I just wanted to quickly share a few hopes. I hope the board will consider this year. If you're going to spend money, please guide yourselves by the questions: how does this grow the party, and is this the best use of this money? Two, I ask each of you on the board to donate. We have a recurring donor program at $25 per month. If we are going to ask people to commit finances to what you want the party to do, then please show them your commitment so we can ask them to do the same. And then hopefully, I hope the board can set some achievable goals. Last year, I was part of the board, and basically we set goals that were just too ambitious. That happens. So in any case, thank you everybody for your volunteering time and your commitment to this cause. And everybody have a good night.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Roos. Appreciate the comment there. Is there anybody else from the general membership looking to be recognized for a public comment? Going once, going twice. All right. I guess hearing and seeing no one else looking to be recognized for public comment, we will move along back on orders of the day. Just want to wish a warm good evening to Mr. Slusher down or up in Brevard County, for me, down for some of you guys. But thank you for joining the call here tonight, sir. Moving along, we are on to item 5, which is the approval of the agenda here. At this time, the chair will now entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chair.
I heard Mr. Johnson speak up. I think Mr. Paff moved it, but I'm going to give it to Mr. Johnson because
I do not want to. I'm going to actually make a motion to amend, Mr. Chair.
Well, we have to take up.
I just wanted to be recognized.
That's fine, Mr. Johnson. So we gotta get the motion on the table before we can amend the agenda here, guys. So Mr. Johnson, you looking to move the agenda?
Mr. Paff did. I'll second it, and then followed by my second, I will make a motion to amend to strike all of the reports that have been submitted either via both bulletin board or email to the secretary, which includes all committees and all region reps.
I may be a little biased here, but this is why I love the LPF. So efficient with what we're doing here, guys. So the motion to take up the agenda has been moved by Mr. Paff. It has been seconded by Mr. Johnson. There has been a motion to amend the agenda now to strike all of the committee and officer and region reports. Is that correct, Mr. Johnson?
That is correct, sir.
All right. Is there a second to that amendment?
Second.
I'll give it to Lee.
All right. I'm going to give it to Lee as well. So Mr. Koritzer gets the second there. Is there any discussion on the amendment to the agenda here, guys?
Yeah, I just have a question because I'm new. Does that mean that we're not going to discuss what we're doing as region reps later on?
Essentially, Mr. Moscrip, that would mean that we would defer to your written report on the bulletin board there. Now, if you would like to give your report, there's always the option to amend the amendment to keep your report on the report docket there, sir. But that is completely your call on that one. Would you like to make that amendment to the amendment, Mr. Moscrip?
I'd like to have the opportunity to talk to the executive committee about what I've been talking to the affiliate chairs about. So that's what my only question is if that would remove my opportunity to speak with you all about that.
Technically not. We generally tend to use the announcements portion of the agenda as that opportunity. Anything that we didn't get in our written reports or anything we kind of just want to express or, get out there for what we're doing in our neck of the woods, so to speak. So if you want to keep it as a formal thing, Mr. Moscrip, we can always move to amend the amendment to keep your report on there, or you could do it during announcements. It's once again your call on that one, sir.
No, it's as long as I have the opportunity to talk about it. I think it's a complete waste of time for any region rep to be on here who's not talking about it. And so I just want to make sure that we have that opportunity to raise the issues that are happening in the county affiliates, because region reps are not doing their job if they're not reporting what the issues are with their affiliates. So I just want to make sure that we're keeping that as part of the agenda, however that is. Like I said, I'm new. I'm not, against anybody. I just want to make sure that we're actually doing what people have elected us to do. So that's all I had to say about that.
Understandable, sir. Not a problem there. All right, so we are back on orders of the day, which is the amendment to the agenda to strike all of the committee, regional, and officer reports. It's already been seconded by Mr. Koritzer. Is there any further discussion on the amendment to the agenda? Is there any objection to the amendment on the agenda, ladies and gentlemen? Hearing no objection, the amendment passes unanimously. Now, like I had mentioned before the meeting, I would like to move to make a amendment to the agenda. I'd like to add a section, I guess it right before new business for the chairman's consent agenda, to add the following individuals to each of the following committees as chairs. For candidates committee, it would be Eric Winklent. For affiliate support committee, Eric Cordova. For fundraising, Hector Roos. Membership would be Ricardo Mijas. Comms committee would be Matthew Johnson. Convention committee, Gabriel Wozniak. And audit committee, Casey Moscript. Is there anybody willing to second that amendment?
I second.
All right. All right. I saw Mr. Moscript's hand up. I heard Mr. Montgomery. I'm going to give it to Mr. Montgomery there. Is there any discussion on the amendment here, guys? Keep in mind when we get to this portion, if there's anybody you'd like to get into further discussion, because it is a chairman's consent agenda, we can move that person's appointment to new business there. This is just to get it on the agenda. Any discussion?
Can you repeat it for me, please?
Oh, yes, absolutely here. I wish I could type good enough to get it in there. It's Eric Winklent for candidates committee. That's Wiklent. For affiliate support committee, Eric Cordova. Fundraising.
Oh, Eric for candidates, did you say?
Different Eric. For candidates committee would be Eric Winklent. Affiliate support committee would be Eric Cordova. We're real heavy on the Erics this year. I know, guys. I'm sorry. Fundraising would be Hector Roos.
Hang on a second.
I'm holding.
Bear with me. I was catching up on some other things.
Can you spell the candidates committee last name?
Yes, sir. It
A-L-E-D-T.
Wiklent.
And then you said, so I got Eric, then who's after that?
So candidates is Winklent, affiliate support committees Cordova, fundraising is Roos, membership is Mijas, comms is Johnson, convention is Gabriel.
Wait, fast, Josh. I'm sorry. I'm trying to type these out. So Hector for candidates, you said?
No. Fundraising.
See? And then who's for the next one?
Ricardo Mijas for membership.
Okay.
Comms is Johnson. Convention is Gabriel Wozniak.
Okay.
And then audit is Casey Moscript.
Got it.
All right. So we've had a second. Is there any discussion on the addition of the chairman's consent agenda?
Who seconded that?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was Mr. Montgomery who seconded it.
Okay.
All right there. Any discussion on the amendment to the agenda? Any objection to the amendment? Going once, going twice. All right, so agenda is as amended. So we move back on to the main motion, which is the approving the amended agenda here. Is there any further discussion or amendments that are wishing to be recognized? All right, just take it to a quick, simple voice vote. All in favor of approving the amendment as agenda, please say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Congratulations. We have an agenda here. So can move along to the next item on the agenda, which is item 6, approval of LPFEC meeting minutes for December 19th, 2023. At this time, the chair will now entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll move it.
All right, Mr. Johnson moves. Is there a second for the meeting minutes?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Davidson seconds. Is there any discussion?
To be clear, you're talking about the minutes for December, right?
Yes, we are. Item
December
6.
minutes and the annual business meeting minutes.
Yes, we're on item 6, approval of LPFEC meeting minutes for December 19th, 2023.
Thanks.
Any further discussion? Any objection to the meeting minutes? Hearing no objection, minutes are approved unanimously, and we'll move on to item 7, approval of the LPF annual business meeting minutes from January 20th through the 21st when we were up in Jacksonville. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve those minutes if someone would like to move it.
I'll move it.
All right, Ms. Cosmo moves it. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Johnson seconds. Is there any discussion on the meeting minutes from the convention? Is there any objection to the meeting minutes from the convention? Didn't expect there to be. All right, guys, we'll approve the meeting minutes over here. Next item on the agenda is the LNC report from Mr. Benner or Mr. Cowan. I do not see either of those two gentlemen on the call tonight. Being that I don't believe we have any LNC members currently on the board serving this term here, we are going to move along with this here. And if Mr. Benner or Cowan decide to show up here, we will add them on and along here. Item 9 was the committee reports. Those were waived as part of the amended agenda. Same thing with item 10 for the officers' reports and comments. 11 was the director at large and region rep reports. Those were also waived there. So we'll get into the chairman's consent agenda, which was part of the amended agenda. Once again here, so the chairman's consent agenda was to appoint once again, just to read it into the record here, the following people to chair the following committee. So Mr. Eric Winklent would chair the candidates committee. Mr. Eric Cordover would chair the affiliate support committee. Mr. Hector Roos would chair the fundraising committee. Mr. Ricardo Mijas would chair the membership committee. Mr. Matthew Johnson would chair the comms committee. Mr. Gabriel Wozniak would chair the convention committee, and Ms. Casey Moskrip would chair the audit committee. Is there any objection to this? If so, we can move it into new business first thing. All right. Hearing no objection to any of these names. Mr. Go ahead, Mr. Appler.
Yeah, a quick search on Civi CRM shows me that that Eric Wicklund is NPA and is not an LPF member at this point.
Good catch there, oversight. All right, then we will, in that case, I will, don't think this is out of order here. I'm going to move to strike Mr. Winklent's name from this in that case here. We can only have credentialed members of the LPF who are verified members be committee chairs and serve on committees there. So I'm going to strike Mr. Eric Winklent's name from this chairman's consent agenda here. And I'm going to amend it to move the following names, which is all the same except for Eric Winklent. Is there anybody who will be willing to second that for me?
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Appler. Is there any objection to the amendment to the chairman's consent agenda due to the circumstances? Hearing no one, just want to get back on and read this in the record once again. So the chairman's consent agenda would now be to approve Mr. Eric Cordova as Affiliate Support Committee Chair, Mr. Roos as Fundraising Chair, Mr. Mihas as Membership Chair, Mr. Johnson as Communications Committee Chair, Mr. Wozniak as Convention Committee Chair, and Ms. Mosgrip as Audit Committee Chair. Is there any objections to any of those individuals being appointed to those positions? Thank you, Mr. Appler, for that catch, by the way. All right, hearing no objections, we have committee chairs. I will, Mr. Rohrabaugh, you and me will probably need to reach out to these individuals over the next couple of days, let them know to start recruiting their committees if they haven't already, get their teams put together, and let's get the year rocking and rolling, shall we say, here. So moving along, item 12 would be unfinished business. Luckily, we don't have any unfinished business. Item 13 on the agenda is new business. Excuse me. Item A under new business is election of a Region 2 representative. Is there anybody looking to nominate somebody to be the Region 2 representative? Going once, going twice. All right, we'll move on to item B under new business, which is the election of a Region 3 representative. Is there anybody looking to nominate someone for the position of Region 3 representative? Going once, going twice. All right, move along. Item C under new business is election of a Region 11 representative. Is there anybody looking to nominate somebody for Region 11 rep? All right, we can, I guess, move along with that one as well. Item D, new business, election of a Region 14 representative. Is there anybody looking to nominate someone for Region 14?
I'll nominate Hector Roos.
All right, Mr. Rohrabaugh nominates Hector Roos. Mr. Roos, do you accept the nomination? All right, I'll take Mr. Roos's thumbs up on the video as a acceptance there. Is there anybody else looking to nominate somebody for Region 14? Going once, going twice. All right, so Mr. Roos has been nominated and has accepted the nomination to take over as Region 14 rep. Is there any objection to Mr. Roos serving? Going once, going twice. Hearing none, we will, congratulations, Mr. Roos. You are back on as Region 14 rep, and we will now move along to item E on the under new business, which is election of a deputy secretary. Is there anybody looking to nominate someone for the position of deputy secretary? Going once, going twice. All right, guys. So still have Region 2, 3, 11, and the deputy secretary position up for nomination or appointment here. If you know anybody interested in any one of those 4 positions, especially if they live in those 3 regions specifically, please let me know, reach out. We can get them on the board at the next meeting in March, and that way we can get that region, get some activity going in that region here. And then last item under new business here is item F. This is motion number 828. Title of the motion is motion to approve Operation First Step contribution to the Volusia affiliate. The mover was Ms. Johnson. Is there a second to this motion?
I'll second.
I would hope so, Mr. Johnson there. All right, there. The mover been moved by Ms. Johnson. Mr. Johnson seconds it. Ms. Johnson, would you like to speak to your motion real quick?
I could just add that this year Volusia affiliate is definitely in a rebuilding year. And if this motion is approved and passes, that contribution will be used towards a fundraising campaign that is scheduled to start the first part of March.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Johnson. Is there any discussion on this motion further? Mr. Roos, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to say that this program is available for everybody to use. This is a perfect example of what this program is supposed to do. Congratulations to Matt Johnson for his appointment to it. I remember seeing the announcement in the Discord. And just in the future, when these things come up, just share the announcement link or whatever to the agenda so we can all see that. But thank you so much, and congratulations again to Volusia County.
All right, thank you, Mr. Roos. Is there any further discussion or debate on this motion here? All right, hearing and seeing none, since it's spending money, we're just going to do a quick voice vote since it's only $200 here, guys. All in favor of expending the funds as part of the Operation First Step to Volusia County, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. The sound of democracy, it's a beautiful thing. The ayes have it. Congratulations. Volusia County, you got $200 coming your way. And once again, congratulations to Mr. Johnson on his appointment to the County Code of Enforcement Board out there. I was going to say, he's got at least another 2 years, 2+ years on that board there. So
3.
I was going to say 3. Oof. So good luck, Mr. Johnson. I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing what codes get enforced while you are on that board.
None of them.
All righty, guys. All right, that wraps up with new business tonight here. Item 14 is notice that the next executive committee meeting is going to be held on March 17th, 2023. Item 15 is announcements. We're going to give roughly 10 minutes. You know, that is a good catch. That is a DITA typo, and I am just reading the script here, guys. I am so sorry. The next executive committee meeting will be held on March 17th, 2024. It's early in the year, guys. I'm still doing 2023. Let's cut the secretary some slack here. They're doing their best. So
It's up.
once again, March 17th, 2024. Please do not show up in your DeLorean in 2023. I will not be there for that meeting. I'm so sorry. Item 15 is announcements. We'll give approximately 10 minutes, which we always go over for anybody on the board who's looking to have any announcements, what's going on in your affiliate, in your region, anything going on with your campaigns if you're running for office. Now is the time. Dr. Mijas, I know your hand's up here. When you're ready, sir, go ahead. You're on mute, Dr. Mijas. You gotta come off mute here.
Yes, it's not an announcement, but it's a reminder to you that I sent you an email to take Mr. Ryan Lewis as a new member, and to remove Christopher Zinobile from the committee as an existing member because he resigned. So
yes, sir.
Do we still have time to do that?
I was planning on doing that at the March meeting, Dr. Mijas, just as well. All of the committees, for all intents and purposes, technically sunsetted as of tonight per LPF bylaws. So we don't really need, everybody got removed for all intents and purposes tonight from every committee here. We just reappointed everybody back for the chairs, and I usually, especially because it's a longer term this year for 2024, going into 2025, I'm going to give you guys the month to build your team, get your volunteers on there, come back to the EC next month there, and, a little bit of, hey, these are the people that are going to be on the committee, and here's a little bit of my plan for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, I would ask too, if there's any big changes that you guys know about on committees, just send me a note so that I have it. I have a running sheet that needs to be updated badly. So Thanks.
Yep, guys. If you guys are looking to, and get any volunteers or committee members added to the agenda for appointment, please CC the secretary when you email me. It'll help to make sure it gets on the agenda properly, and we can make sure that we don't forget about it. It doesn't get lost in the shuffle there, guys. I'm just going to go for everybody else in the order the hands were up here on my computer. So I got Mr. Slusher was up next, then Mr. Johnson, then Mr. Moscrip. Mr. Slusher.
My hand went down, but I still have some.
Okay, so what I'll do is Mr. Slusher, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Moscrip, Ms. Dansky, and then Ms. Cosma in that order here. Mr. Slusher, you have the floor, sir. Go ahead when you're ready, even though technically this is announcements for the executive committee. I'm going to entertain this.
Well, Mr. Chair, thank you for entertaining it. I just joined on tonight because I wanted to give you guys an update. The campaign I'm running out here in District 1 for Brevard County is for those that don't know, I'm running for county commission. It's a partisan seat, and it's a very, very complicated and twisted race, but it is a three-way race right now. So we had a huge town hall the citizens put on. It was not a partisan politic town hall. It was actually a citizen town hall, which was derived from a development issue. And we took it as an opportunity to show strength in the community versus we didn't want to be seen as the third party. We wanted to be seen as the first party, I guess you could say. So the whole team came up. We loaded up 35 signs, put them all up and down the roads. We brought out the 60. I bought a 60 square foot sign for my campaign. It's 6 foot tall by 10 foot long. My face is bigger than my actual face. It's crazy. But we put that out and we set up a table, had a whole team collecting petitions, and we absolutely dominated the event. I was able to dominate on stage and get multiple rounds of applause during the event that the other candidates just could not pull off. So it was wonderful for the LP to go out and be the strongest party in the room. I was super proud of my team for that. And another thing that has occurred recently is I was contacted by the state chair of the Forward Party because of an event or a campaign they're doing to endorse candidates around the state. Had a conversation with him, and this has turned into now attempting to build a coalition of third parties from the state of Florida. I have already received endorsements from the Boricua Party of Florida. I've spoken with the chair of the Conservative Party of Florida, who's also the National Conservative Party chair. I've spoken with the chair of the Constitution Party, and an hour ago received an endorsement from the Constitution Party of Florida. I've spoken with the Forward Party, the Eco Party. My goal is to get endorsements from all the third parties I can, except for, I will not lie, I did not reach out to the People's and Social Liberation Party. I looked at the website and it was all about ending capitalism and ending free trade, and I just couldn't. It's like I was just like, dude, I've got 13 of the 15 or whatever. I just cannot reach out to them. And the People's Party didn't. They don't have a website. I had no way of contacting them. But I just couldn't do it. But I have contacted with the others, and so we'll see what comes of it. So far, I have 2 endorsements, and we're going to do events for. My campaign team is going to do events for each party. Like we're planning an event for all the Boricua Party voters in Brevard County, because while I'm running for District 1, only District 1 can vote for me. I will be making decisions for everyone in this county regarding their property taxes and everything that bothers them. So we're hosting parties for all of those to try and derive fundraising, to try and derive volunteers, get door knockers out on the streets, and give the other third party somebody to believe in and someone they can cheer for. And I think that will help in my district make a massive change. So that's what's going on with my campaign. And it's been freaking hectic, to be honest. It's been all day, every day for the last few weeks. So I just took the opportunity to come out and give you guys an update that I am not sitting around out here. We've been working on getting door hangers and going and doing everything we possibly can out here.
Outstanding, Mr. Slusher. And that's exactly what we need from our candidates is to be out there in their communities, be out there in their voting districts, making an impact, getting our name out there and getting their name out there, which is even more big because we need to start to build a foundation of candidates that we can build the pyramid up towards, get into the top of the mountain, so to speak there. So thank you, Mr. Slusher. Appreciate what you're doing with your campaign out there in Brevard County for the LP and the LPF, and keep up what you're doing and keep me in the loop on how it's going with those interactions with those other third parties. As a candidate myself, I'm uniquely interested. Keeping on with the night though here. Next up will be Mr. Johnson, Mr. Moskrit, Miss Gansky, and then Miss Cosma. Mr. Johnson, when you're ready, go ahead, sir.
Sure. I just wanted to remind you that Lisa and I had emailed you. We were reached out on Twitter by someone interested in the LPF's take on the hemp bill, and we sent you kind of a mishmash combination of what you had sent in and Hector, and we wanted to get your opinion on whether or not you want to roll with that, put it out for public consumption, and then also if you were interested as the chair of the LPF in doing that spaces with that guy, or even hosting a spaces from the LPF account or something like that. So I just wanted to give you a reminder.
Yep, I appreciate it. I saw the email. I caught it during work, and I've been getting my teeth kicked in with the business the last couple of days. So I'll definitely take a look at it tonight, tomorrow, and try and get back to you guys.
My plan. I'll post it on Twitter as a quote reply to his initial message to us. So it'll be a long one, but his was long too, so it should be fine. I will say he has like only a couple hundred followers. I don't know if we should do a spaces with him or not. It might be something maybe we organize with somebody with a little more followers down the line. But I mean, if you want to do it, we can set it up. I just don't know if he's really the right person to start doing that with.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, considering the following count, we probably want to, host it through the LPF Twitter. I think it would mean more. Just as well too, let's leverage our, agility PR, put that kind of stuff out, send it to all the Florida media that we can. Hopefully maybe somebody will look at it and go, oh, Slow News Tuesday, let me put this out there on like page 28 of, the Florida news section.
Take the draft that I sent to you and repurpose it into just like a press release format. So basically what we've written right now is a direct response to the guy, but we can very easily tweak it.
Yeah. Tweak it to a news article for the website / press release. Also, if we are going to host the space on the LPF Twitter, we might as well at the same time, you could use Zoom and we could set up a live stream on YouTube.
That's another one too.
Just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, let's get the reply and then like a press release done up. That way we can get something out there, and then we can worry about all the little nuanced media stuff, a little further down the road there. Like probably if I'm gonna do a space with this guy, I would probably want kind of like, I don't want to call it like a pregame, but like a heads up on like what kind of questions or like an interview script, just so kind of like we know if things start going left and he starts asking weird questions, we can kind of ixnay the whole thing and be like, okay, we're going off base.
Josh, what we would want to do is probably get it not just us. We could get Decriminator to join, Hector could be a part of it. Probably Fina would be another good person. Another good person to include. So it would be multiple people. It would be more of like a conversation about it. But I know Fina's been very interested in it as well. So my suggestion would be like have multiple people, and maybe we could get like not just Decrim Nature Florida, but like the parent, something like that. Make it bigger.
Yeah, like I said, those are all things, let's get the press release and the response done, and then we can kind of, leverage off of that and grow that whole thing there. So let's just keep this conversation going after we get out of the meeting here. And, I'm sure by like middle of the week, we'll have like a better plan put together there as we start to hash out the details.
Yeah.
Awesome here. All right. So keeping along with announcements here. Next up will be Mr. Moskrip, Miss Gansky, Miss Cosma, and then Hector here. Mr. Moskrip, when you're ready.
Because Matt covered what I was going to talk about.
Okie dokie. Then Moskrip, Cosma, Bruce, Mr. Moskrip, you have the floor when you're ready, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to go over a few things here. I just wanted you all to know that, let me get my notes up here because I spoke with Mark, the chairman of Pinellas, earlier. He and I have been, so when I was chairman of Hillsborough before I became Region 8 rep, he and I were already working to try to build kind of like a Tampa Bay coalition to where we have been sharing volunteers. We've been cooperatively doing events. We had Mike Termott, Chase Oliver, and most recently Lars Mapstead come do a meet and greet in our area. And have been trying to put on like a more welcoming professional political front that, not to be offensive to anybody, but kind of goes against what people expect libertarians to be instead of just arguing on Facebook. And so here's what he said. I had a conversation with him today, just asking him what he wanted me to go over. He said they're having a convention in March. They have a new social media person who's been growing their social media followers, which I know that Tub, Hector, and a few of us, we know about that. He's actually started up a group that he's been calling the Gang. And it's folks who are trying to be professional as much as possible in their language on social media and to back each other up instead of just memes and cartoons and stuff like that, but to be more of like a legitimate party. Mark is also the chairman of Pinellas, is working towards surveying as many of the registered voters that are registered as libertarians in Pinellas to move forward on issues important to their local area so they can make sure they're speaking to things that people actually care about instead of just using insider language and regurgitating talking points that nobody outside of the Libertarian Party might even understand. So he's trying to make sure that the language that we're using actually makes sense to draw people in. As far as the Libertarian Party goes, that's what we've been doing from the ground up. You guys all know that. Myself, Eric, and Gabrielle Cordova, along with Matthew Johnson, like that's been our goal from the beginning, is we want to have as wide a net as possible, or as wide, I guess, in that's pastor language, in libertarian language, as wide a funnel as possible so that we can bring as many people in as possible. We're telling everybody, we don't care how liberal or conservative you are. If your goal is to remove more of the centralized power and make it more local so that it can be affected by individuals, then we can argue about all the details later because we can't even accomplish that. So if we can accomplish that, then there's room to argue about the details later on. And so we're trying to build a party in the Tampa Bay area that is focused on moving forward, not in who's the best libertarian in the world, but like who can actually bring more people in, who can grow the party. And in that vein of thinking, I've been working with like 3 to 5 people in the Pasco County area to get the affiliate going or up and running. I know Ricardo has been working with one of the individuals as well. I gave them a to-do list to get affiliated. I gave them a lot of our documents so they can have an idea of what a template is to get affiliated quickly, because many of you who don't know, who were not on board, Hillsborough, we got affiliated in about, Josh, what, like 5-7 days? So yeah, a week. Yeah. So yeah, it's like, just, yeah. So the idea is, and I told them like, we'll adopt you the idea is to get the entire Region 8 moving forward and on the same page of being a welcoming environment for people who feel like they don't have a home because the two parties have run to the extremes. And we don't want to be the party that's known for arguing with each other. We don't want to be the party that's known for infighting. And so I'm also working on Polk. My goal, so that you guys know, I'm going to say this out loud, because when you say it out loud, there's accountability. My goal is to have Pasco and Polk affiliated again by the end of the year. Pasco, I think, will be affiliated within the next few months, as long as he's able to find a treasurer. Polk, I believe the person that you guys elected vice chair in the past allowed the paperwork to fall through the cracks, and so Polk was disseminated, and so Polk no longer exists. But I have a lot of contacts in Polk County, and so I've been talking to people. My daughter actually is considering stepping up to possibly run to be the chairperson. But our goal is to find people who will actually do the work, not people who'll just say things. It's people who'll bring people into the party. And so our goal is by the end of the year, Region 8 will be sending a lot of delegates to the state convention for 2025. I think that's all that I have. We're doing a lot of work. We're all in contact with each other. And I'm really excited about what's happening in between all the counties over here in Region 8. Pinellas and Hillsborough, we have the largest number of registered libertarians in the entire state. And Pinellas and Polk are not that far behind. So if we can get them on board, we'll have a very big voting block to be able to influence more and hopefully break the back of the Republican Party in Florida and then move toward taking more of a majority. So that's all that I have. Thank you.
Awesome, David. Appreciate the work you guys are doing out there. And I'm glad to see that the very heavily libertarian west coast of Florida is finally starting to come up in a big way there. So keep up what you guys are doing there. Love to hear the updates when they come through, and look forward to seeing what you guys do through election season this year. We got Miss Cosma and Mr. Roos up next. And then
I'm sorry, Josh, can I add one more thing?
Sure, go for it.
I've said this in the Discord before, but if there's anything that you guys see that Hillsborough or Region 8 puts out that's graphic design oriented, it's probably me that's doing it. And if you want me to cater it to your local affiliate, I've offered this to a few people, but just seriously, shoot me a message and shoot me your logo, and I'll switch it out and brand it for you guys and send it to you, because I feel like we should all be working together on this stuff.
Thank you, David. All right, I got Miss Cosma, Hector, and then we can move along here. Go ahead, Miss Cosma.
Yeah, I just wanted to give everyone a reminder that Libertarian Party of Palm Beach County is having its fishing trip charter this upcoming Saturday from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. That's $125 a person, so we still have spots left. If anyone feels like they can get over to Boynton Beach in Palm Beach County, we'd love to have you on the boat trip, as long as you're not going to puke.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going. Sorry.
That's all right. I get it, Lisa. It's tough if you get motion sick. You don't have to. You'll be there. I'll see you. I'm excited.
I wish.
That's all right.
I'm going to be out of the state for the whole weekend, unfortunately, so I won't even be in town.
You and Smitty, but if anybody on here is interested in tickets, it's on our website for the county affiliate, lppbc.com. There's a link there for the donation. And if you know anybody that might want to take a little trip over there, just let them know.
I highly recommend. Thank you, Ms. Cosma. I highly recommend these trips, guys. These is, while not having done obviously the specific one, I've done similar fishing trips like this in the past, and they're always, a pun intended, a boat ton of fun. So if you can make it up the Boynton or make it down the Boynton, definitely, come out, join the LP Palm Beach out there. Like I said, I've always had a great time anytime I've gone on one of those types of trips. Mr. Roos, go ahead, sir. Your turn is up here. You're on
Okay,
mute.
everybody. Thank you. Mr. Chair, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, so I just wanted to briefly go over what the cannabis thing is, because if people didn't know what we were talking about earlier regarding, what the issues are in Florida. The Florida legislature is considering THC caps again, but this time they have a lot more support for it. So they're basically, it's a preemptive attack on and they're actually restricting the hemp industry for the first time. And with that said, there's basically a preemptive attack on voters' rights before what seems to be a done deal that voters are going to pass recreational cannabis this November. Part of that has been part of pushing back is something I was a part of with the Florida Cannabis Action Network, which is we're seeking basically the state of administration of the Board of Medicine to review the actual science behind all the restrictions that they're employing, all the science that they're backing this proposed legislation on, and they will have a meeting in May, in fact, to talk about this. It's the science they're using is really bad. They're basically saying cannabis kills people, cannabis makes people insane, and on top of that, they require us to sign. If you're a medical cannabis patient and you have a card, you're signing an informed consent letter that says, I am of an unsound mind, I can't drive, I can't own firearms, I can't work if I work or drive a car because I basically have an unsound mind. So this is a big deal, and that's why we're all talking about it. All right. So on the other side of that, I wanted to also remind everybody there is a presidential candidate debate hosted by the Free and Equal Elections Foundation on the night of February 29th. It's going to be on Rumble. It includes a number of two Libertarian candidates, Chase Oliver and Lars Mapstead, including several other candidates, and I believe Jill Stein and even R.F. Kennedy Jr. have confirmed they're going to participate. It's going to be like 7 candidates for 2 hours from 8 to 10 Eastern. And my last question really was a matter of business. LPF reaffiliation paperwork is due April 1st. This is for the state party, and as well as all the counties. And I do not believe this board has approved a CPA contract to review its finances in order to submit with that reaffiliation. So are we planning on doing that next meeting? Do we even have enough time to do that next meeting to make the April 1st cutoff? And is this something maybe Ms. Pacheco-Jones can help us with? Thank you.
Good question, Hector. I know we haven't approved the contract like we have in the past. I know typically that's been something we've done at either the February or the March meeting, depending on the time of year. That said, the convention being in January kind of created an interesting wrinkle that we, in the cadence of our meetings here. So more than likely, guys, we're probably going to have to call a special meeting for that to get that all handled and done up with there, just to play it safe, because I see Ms. Pacheco's head going up and down like this. So that tells me, let's play it safe, not be sorry later. It's always better to submit and have to amend than to not submit or submit late there, guys. So be on the lookout for that. More than likely, unless Ms. Pacheco has could advise on some better options, I think we're just going to go with the same firm we've been using the last couple years, just to play it safe there and move along. Mr. Johnson, I saw your hand was up. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry for one more time. So now that we have a new treasurer, it is probably the case that Patrick's credit card for the account will be, or debit card will be canceled, and the new treasurer will have one issued. And as the communications committee, we have multiple things that are on auto pay, such as website hosting, Facebook ads, things of that nature that we will need to coordinate getting that updated payment information transferred over to.
Yeah, Brianna, have you tried to get any card or access yet?
I have access to the bank account. Until Patrick and I get together with the bank, I'm going to keep the card active. So I'll let you know when the transition to the new account.
Yeah, because the last thing we want is for our Nation Builder monthly payment to not go through, and then our website goes poof.
Yes, let's not have that happen, please, and thank you. So yeah, Brianna, when you finally get with Pat and make that changeover, please, same day, next day, like make a day of it. Get with Matt right away, and let's make sure all the necessary changeovers that happen.
Yeah.
I understand one or two things are probably going to slip through the cracks. It's just the nature of changing over cards. I deal with it personally when it happens in my own life. So, let's get as many things wrapped up as we can when that happens there. Like I said, let's make a day of that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So go ahead.
When it comes to the CPA firm, I'm going to try to find a new firm to do our audits because it seems overpriced, the service that they're charging us for. So
we can save money. I'm all for that.
Yeah, I am. I if I'm not mistaken, this is a firm that Stephen Nicalos has used for a number of years. I would expect that Stephen probably uses them for his business, in his professional life as well. So, more than likely, the relationship between the LPF and this firm was based around Stephen Nicalos' relationship with the members of that firm who've worked for him. So, definitely I'm open to taking bids and seeing if somebody can do it for cheaper because I like cheap. I'm a cheapskate. All right, guys. So
a question too.
Go ahead.
Clifford, you got your hand. You have
Yeah. Well, I just want to give an update for Lee County. So we've actually got our new board established. I believe we have our affiliation paperwork already in order. I know we signed it at the last meeting. The big focus that we're going to have on this year is our voter suppression campaign, which we attempted to get moving forward, but the CRM company that we were utilizing actually shut us down for political speech, which was very frustrating to say the least. So when we attempted to send it out to our members just to get something going, they stopped us moving forward. So we're actually going to get that up and running this year. We're actually going to be focusing on the Democratic Party in the sense that there's a libertarian streak inside the Republican Party. So we don't feel that necessarily needs to be addressed as much focused on as far as the uniparty goes. But we need to get those people that are really not feeling at home with what's going on politically to see an opportunity that's not Republican and have what the libertarians can offer. So we're going to be focusing on that, and we're going to be having a quarterly campaign to get those people moving forward. But that is all contingent on our access and utilization of Nation Builder. So if the person that's in charge of Nation Builder could really help me out and get me up to speed on what I need to do, how we can reach out, how we can include the list of people that are registered for the other parties and start addressing them. Because I'm not sure if anybody else gets messages from parties that they're not affiliated with, but I know I get some from Republican and Democratic candidates to get information and ask for money, which I haven't given them a doggone dime.
I'm sure open, and I'm emailing you anyway, but myself and Matt are the ones that are on communications. So Matt just put the email in the chat.
Perfect.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to stress with that is that with Nation Builder, we can only send emails and texts to people who have opted in. We cannot send to other parties who have not specifically said, sign me up to receive your emails and text messages. It's just not allowed. You can do that from your personal email address if you would like, but we just can't do it through Nation Builder.
Right.
And for the record, in the Discord server, every month it's updated with the list of voter lists as well.
Oh yes, so we actually are working on the new members that register as libertarians. What we want to actually focus on for growth is the people that are wayward. They're not feeling at home in any particular party, and that way we can actually reach out and get expansion. Because we can preach to the choir all we want, but that doesn't actually offer the growth that we need to be better established. I'm actually the new vice chair for Lee County, so that's one of my key focuses on.
Yeah, maybe you can join one of our upcoming communications meetings and we can talk more at length about it then. But It might even be something you guys consider doing. Facebook has weird rules around politics, but
Right.
ad
Well,
campaign.
what we want to do is actually get a suitable CRM, client resource management system, that will allow us to reach out to people that's affordable. The last time we reached out with the 200 some odd thousand voters, it would have cost us about a penny per voter just to send a text, each text. So that just really, we don't have the budget for all that. So we wanted to actually begin the campaign with 5,000 to 7,000 and send a couple rounds quarterly to just reach out and see what people we can get moved into Nation Builder. And that way we can actually have some fresh blood, because no juice like the new juice.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to chat about it further.
All right, sounds like a plan. I'm very open to it and really want to get things established. I have a pretty tight schedule, so if we could pick a particular day and time that we can certainly meet, I would definitely be open to that.
We do our communications meetings at like usually 7 or 8 on Thursdays, every other Thursday, but it's kind of in flux right now.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the time and look forward to everyone's participation and get some actual real growth and actually doing some damage to the unit party.
Clifford, I want to give you a suggestion of something. You were trying to get some more email, text messages out. I just found out that Gmail has now a free service that allows you to send a text message on your email. So when you do something like that, I've done it with other paid services before. You can actually put a lot of phone numbers in there, like any other email, and it'll go to all the different phones that as text messages. So
outstanding.
But that's free, so that would be a great way to help you get text messages to people.
There we go.
Can I just say one
Awesome.
thing?
Go ahead, Mr. Moskert.
Is that all right? I just want to make sure, Ricardo, just so you know, they're actively banning Google Voice, Gmail, and emails like that from going through, to the point where the debate that Hector was talking about, the free and equal debate, they actually eliminated any text or phone number response that was tied to Google. So we have to be careful with that as well. And I'm not like crapping all over your idea. Like, I think it's great to use anything we can. I'm just
totally
saying,
valid idea.
Yeah. We just have to be careful. Yeah.
Careful that you don't send too many of them at once. So you could like send 15 of them today and 15 of them tomorrow, and that would probably not get you in trouble.
What we found is that the last time we attempted it, just because it was political speech, it didn't necessarily it wasn't determined by the number of emails or texts that we sent out. It was determined by the content of the material. So just for being political speech, they actually curtailed us. So what we plan on doing is,
I mean, through what did you send that?
It was an organization called Lead Connector.
No, I don't think that Gmail would do that, or any email system would do
that. Gmail's been very
very
active in suppressing the political voice and speech to push it towards the Democratic Party, not even Republican or conservative. And they've done a lot to curtail conservative speech. Right. And that's not saying libertarians are conservative. I'm just saying in the sense that anything that is not for the Democratic Party, I think Gmail or Google may have its fingers in doing what it can to suppress it. So we're actually, first off, reaching out to our supervisor of elections, and that's where we're getting our list of people to reach out to. And then second, we're looking for a company that will allow us to send out those messages without being shut down.
Yeah, I'm just saying, as a new affiliate with a 100% new URL, we sent like emails out to the folks that Ricardo, that you had set us up with before I came along, and Eric and Gabrielle and all of that. And we were following up with them. But the problem was everything was going to spam, even though it was a completely new URL that nobody had had before. And so we followed up by calling, I think 300 people on the list and asked them all to go into their spam folder and check it, not junk. That's the only way that we got off of the spam list. And so it's like they're defaulting to any of this content that's political is spam. And so it's like whether it's a text or whether it's an email, no matter what it is, it's just a heads up to everybody. Like I'm not, I swear to you all,
Oh, no.
I'm not criticizing any of you
That's
all.
a totally valid point because
Yeah, this has
just
changed.
regular libertarian emails I get
Yeah.
from members that I regularly get emails from, I have to constantly go into my spam folder, tell them it's not spam, and it still gets caught almost every time. Like John Paff's emails get caught in there constantly. They really just don't want
It's
individual
not,
speech.
because I've been in every single party over the last 6 years before everybody was like, jump off the boat and become a libertarian. That's what you've always been, right? So I'm telling you, like, whether I was on a US congressional campaign for a Republican or a Democrat, or now like running the libertarian thing, they're doing everything they can to try to say we're suppressing or we're filtering all these emails. So every single email as a new URL that you're sending out, Ricardo, you need to tell people this. Everybody needs to tell this. If you're sending out an email, you need to follow it up with like 50 to 100 phone calls, like what we did, and say, please check your spam, mark it not trash. And that's the only way that your emails are going to get out of that spam list. Just a heads up. Yeah, sorry.
All right.
I don't want this to derail, Josh. Sorry.
Yeah, guys, we're getting in the weeds here. This was some, it's good conversation. I agree with all of it, and we can definitely keep this up after the meeting here, guys. But I want to get back on the orders of the day here because we were supposed to have about 10 minutes for announcements, and I know we normally blow over it, but we're talking almost 45 minutes of overblown now. So once again, this is all good, relevant conversation, guys, but I want to respect people's time here. And if there's no further announcements, we can move back on the orders of the day. All right. Hearing none, we will move on to the last item on the agenda here, guys, which is item 16, which is adjournment here, everybody's favorite agenda item here. At this time, the chair will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion moved by damn near everybody on this board, but I'm going to give it to Mr. Johnson because I heard him first. I'm going to give Mrs. Johnson the second because I heard her second. So is there any objection to adjourning, ladies and gentlemen?
I'm entering the
name of Marcus.
objection.
There have been two Marcus Reader objections. Is there any substantial objections? Hearing none, ladies and gentlemen, meeting adjourned. Congratulations. It is 8:41. Good meeting tonight, guys. Got through there in a little over an hour. Definitely with the Gmail stuff,